Hello everyone, Mike here with a Star Wars Destiny deck video. I was informed by some viewers that the decks I had built were incorrect, as that you cannot have, for example, I had yellow dice, or yellow cards I should say, in a deck without yellow characters. So I went through both decks. We'll be doing a video for each. This is the Kylo Ren deck. I took the yellow cards out and replaced them all with blue and or red cards, because I added in a Stormtrooper. So now I can use red cards in this deck. So we're going to start with the top of this deck here. We have our location is Echo Base on Hoth. So if this is the battlefield that everybody's playing on, and whoever claims it can give a character one shield. And you'll see why the shields are important in just a moment. So there's Echo Base. We're running 2 Kylo Ren, 11 hit points, and we're using the 13-point value here. We're using 2 Kylo Ren dice. This card is from the starter set, and it gives you 2 dice. So 2 dice of Kylo Ren for the 13 points toward a 30-point limit. So he has, as you can see on the side, he has a 1 melee, 2 melee that costs 1 resource, 1 shield, 1 resource, 1 special, and 1 blank. And if you roll his special, you can choose an opponent's character, then look at a random card in that player's hand, and it deals damage to that character based on the cost of that card. So if I look at a card that costs 2 resources, it does 2 damage. A 3 resource card does 3 damage, and so on. So again, we're running 2 Kylo Ren. We're running 1 Nightsister, and this is why the shields are important. So we have a Nightsister. Just one currently. It has 7 health. It costs 8 points. It has 1 range damage, 2 range damage, 1 disrupt, 1 discard, 1 resource, and a blank. And for an action, you can reroll a die and deal 1 damage to his character. So that die can be either your die or your opponent's die. If you roll something that you want to be different, you can use this to reroll your die. If, for example, your opponent has a special on their die, you can reroll that to hopefully not get that special again. And it has 7 health. So that's why you want to keep it protected so you can use the ability to mess with your opponent's die. Or dice, I should say. So we have the Nightsister. And we have 1 First Order Stormtrooper. And it costs 7. So we have a 13, an 8, and a 7 for our costs. It has 7 health, 7 hit points. Has 1 range damage, 2 range damage, 2 range damage at the cost of a resource, 1 resource, and 2 blanks. To our equipment and upgrades, we're running 2 Kylo Ren lightsabers. So it costs 3 resource. Let me see. Can only be played on blue characters, so it can only go on Kylo or the Nightsister. And if you roll the special, it can deal 2 damage to if you deal 2 damage to a character, if any of this damage is negated by shields, you can re-roll the die instead of removing it from your pool. Normally, once you resolve a die, it goes back, like, not into your hand, it goes back to, like, an area for the next turn. So as you see on the side, he has 3 melee at the cost of a resource, a +2 melee, a +3 melee, 1 shield, 1 special, and 1 blank. And again, we're running 2 of that lightsaber. So 2 just gives us a better chance to draw it, and if we have it out and it gets destroyed, we have another one in our hand, or in our deck possibly. So there's 2 of the Kylo Ren lightsabers. We're also just running 2 generic lightsabers. So these cost 3 as well. Cost 3 has 3 melee at the cost of a resource, a +2 melee, 1 shield, 1 resource, 1 special, 1 blank. It also has redeploy, so once the character that it's attached to is defeated, you can move it to another character. It also has, for a special, it deals 2 unblockable damage to a character. So unblockable meaning it gets past shields. So if the character has 3 shields up, this will just do 2 damage to that character and negate the shields entirely. It won't get rid of the shields, but it will just do damage to the character itself. So there's that. And again, it's 2 of those lightsabers. We are running 2 F11D rifles. These are the standard issue Stormtrooper rifle. So it costs 2 resources. Has 2 range damage at the cost of a resource, a +1 range damage, +2 range damage, 1 resource, 1 special, 1 blank. It also has redeploy. And if you roll the special, you can force an opponent to deal 2 damage to their characters distributed as they wish. So they can take 1 damage on one character, 1 damage on another, 2 damage on one, and so on. We're running 2 of the Stormtrooper rifles. We're running one IQA-11 blaster rifle. It costs 3 resources. It has a 2 range damage, a +3 range damage, 1 disrupt, 1 resource, 1 special, and a blank. And the special is it deals 2 damage or 2 unblockable damage to a character. We just have 1 of that. We are running 2 Immobolize. This is an ability, but it adds a die as well. So 2 resources. It gets you a die with 1 disrupt, 1 shield, 2 shields, a resource, and a blank. Blue characters only. It says remove action. You can remove this die to turn a die to a side showing a blank. So you could, remove this die to move one of your opponent's dies to a blank side. And there is 2 of them in the deck. We're also running 1 Commlink. Commlink just costs 2 resources. It has a 1 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource, +1 resource, and a blank. And after you play this card from your hand, reroll any number of your dice or any number of an opponent's dice. So when you play this, you get to reroll a bunch of stuff if you want to. Is that? Alright, next up we have 1 Sith Holocron. Cost 0. Gives you a die that has a focus, +1 resource, 2 specials, and 2 blanks. So I'm not too thrilled with the 2 blanks part of it, but it does have 2 specials, which are pretty cool. So if you roll a special, you can switch this upgrade with a ability card in your hand. And see what else it does. In your hand, ignoring any restrictions, and then you may spend 1 resource to roll its die. So basically, you can play it, and then also if you have a resource, you can roll that die too. There's the Sith Holocron. We have 1 speeder bike, or speeder bike scout, I should say. That's a support. Cost 3 gives you a die with 2 range damage, 3 range damage at the cost of a resource, 1 disrupt, 1 shield, 1 special, and 1 blank. And its special is remove a die. You may take 1 additional action. So you can remove a die and then do something else after that. That's pretty cool. Alright, next up we are into our, I believe these are all events now. I put a couple new events in here. We're running 1 Tactical Mastery. Let's see if it focuses. 1 Tactical Mastery, spot a red character, take up to 2 additional actions. I want to get more of this. This is a pretty good card if you're especially running with like Stormtroopers or other red characters. So 1 Tactical Mastery. 2 Occupation. 2 resources, you can only play it if you control the battlefield, but causes an opponent to lose all their resources. We're running 2 of that. We're running 2 Dug In. It's a neutral card. Costs 1 resource. You can play it only if you control the battlefield, and you can give 3 shields to your characters distributed as you wish. So if you're using the Nightsister's ability, you're going to want to use this to just give it more shields and keep it alive longer so you can keep using that ability and keep re-rolling your dice or your opponents. Again, there's 2 of that. You have 2 Intimidate. 0 cost, remove all of a character's shields. So obviously you can play down on your opponent if they have a ton of shields on them. We're running 2 Power of the Force. There's Power of the Force. Resolve 1 of your dice, treating its value as equal to the number of blue upgrades you have in play. Most of the upgrades I have are blue. There's a couple red and a couple grays, but a lot of them are blue. Like the lightsabers, the abilities, and all that are blues as well. Again, we're running 2 of that Power of the Force. We're running 2 Isolation. Cost 1 resource, spot a blue character to remove character die. Two of that. We're running 2 Feel Your Anger. So you count the number, here we go. 2 Feel Your Anger. Count the number of blanks showing on an opponent's die and remove that many dice, many of their dice. So they have 4 dice, 2 are blanks. You can count the 2 blanks and remove the 2 that are not blanks. Again, that's 2 of on that. 2 Feel Your Anger. 2 block. 2 resources and removes all your opponent's dice showing melee damage. A cross sword symbol. All those dice cost 2, and again, you're running 2 of it. You have 1 dodge. 2 resources, and it removes all your opponent's dice featuring range damage. So similar to block, just that it does it on range damage. Just running 1 of. We have 1 hidden in shadow. So if you control a character, let's see what it does. Attached character has no shields. You can exhaust the upgrade to give it 1 shield. Obviously, using this on the Nightsister to give it a shield. If I get another one of these, I'm going to put it in here as well. And finally, we have 1 Abandon All Hope. It costs 2. And your opponent gets to choose to either discard their hand or lose all their resources. So it can be pretty disruptive. So that is the villain deck, again featuring Kylo Ren, the Nightsister, 2 Kylo Ren, a Nightsister, and a Stormtrooper. Let me know what you think of the deck down below in the comments. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.